Hi, good morning. Welcome back to the Sacramento Passive House series. I'm Andrew with Good Space High Performance Builders, and today we are joined by Ian Nimmo with 475 High Performance Building.
Hey everybody.
So we want to talk about how 475 High Performance Building is supporting passive house construction. We certainly relied on them heavily on this project and others with knowledge and expertise. So first thing I want to ask you, Ian, is the name 475 High Performance Building Supply. It's kind of random. What does that mean?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So what 475 is associated with is the Passive House standard. And what I'm talking about here is the PHI standard, Passive House International, first standard that started in Germany. So basically, you have to be below 4.75 kBTUs per square foot per year of heating demand in your home to meet the residential passive house standard. So that's where the name comes from, and we just love to embody the principles of passive house in everything that we do.
Got it. So really, what that's saying is it's super efficient, right? If you're meeting the 4.75, you're getting efficiency with energy use.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's specific for the heating demand, but for the passive house standard, there's lots of other standards that we may or may not know about. One of them is air tightness, right? Others insulation values, and then you also have to be below a certain cooling threshold as well.
Got it.
Yeah.
Origin of 475, what's the backstory there?
Yeah, so 475 was started back in 2011 by two architects who wanted to build to the passive house standard. And what they found is that there weren't many great products on the market that existed to meet that standard. So that's how 475 was born. One of our founders is from the Netherlands, and the two partners helped create these European partnerships that we have now and are responsible for all the products that we have for the US market and Canadian market.
Nice. Well, we're certainly thankful for that, because without those pioneers, we wouldn't be able to do this as easily here at this stage. So thank you.
And you guys are pioneering the first passive house in Sacramento, so you're doing the hard work too.
Yeah, we're excited, and part of the reason for doing this video is to just put the knowledge out there so people know, because if you don't know, you don't know. So yeah,
that's
really
right.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so high performance building in the name, that's interesting, because our company is Good Space High Performance Builders, and you're a 475 High Performance Building Supply. So what does high performance mean for you guys?
Yeah, definitely. So, what I would say for 475 and in general, a high performance building is going to be one that's really comfortable, right? Really comfortable for the occupants with respect to temperature. You want the interior temperature to feel really comfortable. You also want to have high levels of indoor air quality, really, really nice fresh air. One thing we've been talking about recently is how many people filter their water at home, right? Lots of people filter their water throughout the U.S. How many people filter their air at home? Maybe not as many.
Right.
So a high-performance home has a filtration system that's filtering the air that's coming into your home, and that's going to create a healthier living space. So another element of high performance would be energy efficiency. And so energy efficiency, right? Our home doesn't need that much heating or cooling to keep it comfortable, which also makes our home really resilient. If we have a power outage and it's really, really cold outside, the last thing we want is to have a home that cools down so much that would create a safety issue for the occupants.
Right.
And then lastly would be durability. So we want the home to last a long time. We don't want to build this great passive house and have it fall down because of moisture issues in 10 years.
Yeah, love that. I mean, because I see that, like people's thoughts start with the efficiency, energy efficiency, but all those other things you talked about are more important, when you add them up, the air quality, the resiliency, which we've seen, right? So the Texas ice storms they had was a glaring example of, people lost their lives. It's not always that extreme, but people have an awareness of resiliency and health more and more now, which is huge. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Why did you join 475? Personally, obviously, you made a decision to join a company like this. What's your journey?
Yeah, definitely. I had a number of jobs before 475, and they were always environmentally focused. I worked for a LED lighting rebate program. I waved people down on the street for donations for an environmental nonprofit. Worked for an engineering consulting firm, and I found out about 475 at a Passive House conference in Olympia, Washington, through Passive House Northwest, which is a great organization that puts on great events. And I saw 475's former Western Regional Manager giving a presentation on foam. And it was knocking foam a bit and talking about the embodied energy of foam and how much carbon emissions are associated with that insulation product. And I had never considered how we make our homes energy efficient. So it was this big light bulb moment for me. And I reached out to him afterwards and said I wanted to work for 475 and started working for them in 2018.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just want to talk about that. I've been thinking about it a little bit lately, and I'll be interested to see your thoughts about kind of how we build homes, like you were saying. So whether it's a luxury home or a commodity home, so how does high performance building fit in with that, right? So I see a lot of luxury homes or big homes, homes that look nice getting built, the same as a very budget orientated house, same technology, same methods that we've been using for a long time. And I'm like, well, all of these styles of houses, from the more affordable to the high end, should be building high performance. Like, how can you call it a luxury home if you don't have resiliency, good indoor air quality, and all those things? And then on the other end of homes, the more affordable homes, we shouldn't be building those if they're not a healthy place to live either, with good efficiency, filtration, natural lighting, those kind of things. So it's kind of interesting. High performance is kind of a niche right now. Not many people are doing it, but I feel like every home should be getting built that way now. What do you think about all of that?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the technology is available to do it. Maybe the technology wasn't available 20 years ago, 30 years ago, but we do have that technology now. And I think everyone should have the opportunity to live in a house that's more healthy, more comfortable, more resilient. And I think we were talking about this earlier, but we were talking about our phones, our cars, and the technology in our phones and cars has changed drastically over the last 40 years. But the way that typical homes are built hasn't changed much at all over the last 40 years. And when it comes to Passive House, we are taking new techniques to get a higher standard of product. And so if we are talking about a luxury home, why would you want a luxury home that's made with luxury finishes that isn't made with the newest technology to make that home as efficient and comfortable as possible?
Yeah, good. I like how you brought the technology in, because I hadn't really thought about that too much. But yeah, I mean, likes of your company bringing these products, like, we don't really have an excuse now, right? It exists. Right. We can do it. So
that's true.
Yeah, that's great. How does 475 choose the products that they offer?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So, as you now know, 475 is very tied to the Passive House standard. So we're always looking for new and innovative products that can help meet the Passive House standard. So high levels of air tightness, triple pane windows, skylight solutions, heat recovery and energy recovery ventilation solutions. So anything that would help us create high performance homes here in the US, that's what we're looking for.
Nice. So you've basically already curated what we need if we're building a high performance home. So that's nice. So it's already, you've kind of tested and vetted, and that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What types of products are good fits for a passive house?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So for people who are new to Passive House on the call, Passive House is associated with 5 principles, and these are 5 guiding principles that we can use to create high performance homes. So one of them is triple pane windows or high performance windows. You have to have really great air control, because if air is leaking out of your house constantly, you're having to reheat and recool that air. You also want to minimize thermal bridging. So we want to have high levels of insulation. And then lastly, we want to have heat or energy recovery ventilation. So, to your point, Andrew, 475 carries a number of products to meet those 5 components of the Passive House standard. So we do have air sealing membranes and tapes. We do have heat and energy recovery ventilation. We have insulation that can reduce thermal bridging and increase that R value.
Nice, perfect. Yeah, so that's hitting all those specialty things.
All 5 components.
Because a lot of the rest of the construction can be fairly conventional, but those are the pieces that we're looking for, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you give us a quick rundown of the products? We'll just kind of scan through. We won't dive deep now, but take a look at some of the things you have available.
Yeah, absolutely. And for this Sacramento Passive House that Good Space High Performance Builders is creating, they're using a lot of 475 products. There are a number of products that we do carry that aren't showcased here today, so I'll just briefly go over those. So we do Lamilux skylights for flat roof, glass roof systems. We do Facro, which are pitched roof skylights. We do the Gutex wood fiberboard insulation. And then as far as the products we have here today, 475 does stock the Stego sub-slab vapor barrier. So this is 15 mils, nice and thick, and prevents any moisture from the ground from getting into your slab. We also sell the Proclima line of air sealing membranes and tapes. So we've got window flashing tapes, we've got gaskets, we have airtight adhesives, we've got flashing tapes, we've got peel and stick membranes over here. We have tapes that stick to concrete without a primer. That's a really popular tape there. This project is also utilizing the Brink system, ERV, HRV system, which is a fully ducted system. Has a heat recovery core inside of it that helps transfer the heat between the incoming and the outgoing air. This is some of the duct work to the system right here, and I believe Good Space is going to put out another video that showcases that product quite a bit.
Yeah, we'll deep dive into that because it's newer but fantastic, so we're really pumped on that. And just to touch on the Proclima line, for us, we've had a lot of confidence on this house that all the parts and pieces play well together, right? So we know they're all from the same company because they're touching each other. We've got different tapes, gaskets, membranes, and fluidipide products, and they're all in the same family, so we know they've been tested to work together and the chemistry works. So that's really reassuring because durability, right? We want it to last and work.
Exactly. And Andrew, there are a couple other products that we sell as well that I forgot to mention. So we do also sell Lunos, which is a ductless heat recovery ventilation system. So you don't need any duct work to get your heat recovery or energy recovery ventilation. And then we do also sell the Passive House Planning Package, which is the software that's utilized to meet the Passive House standard.
Right. So something that's kind of interesting is I know a lot of the products that you have are coming from the European suppliers, European market. Why is that? And do you see more products coming online from the U.S. or tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Most of our products do come from Europe, and with respect to high performance construction, the European market is just a little bit more advanced in that sense. They've had a little bit more time to mature. Their market is more mature, so they do have some of the best products that we can bring into the U.S. And I think in the USA, we haven't had a huge proportion of high performance projects, but I think that's changing right now. Obviously, with the advent of Good Space High Performance Builders, first passive house in Sacramento, right? You guys are pioneers. You're creating more passive houses in the market. 475 has grown over the last 13 years. And I think in the USA, we'll start to see more high performance products.
Nice. Yeah, and I agree. I think the momentum, I think we're just one little piece of it, but the community is strong and all the knowledge. So we're seeing a lot of homeowners, users, customers, they can find all this information online now, which is great. So they're coming to the builders and generating that demand because they're learning about it. So it's fantastic. So I see a lot of growth in this sector too, which is good for everyone, good for the whole society. So that's great. So kind of to wrap up, I just want to give some feedback on our experience. I've been talking with Ian for a number of years. I met him at an International Passive House Open Days, which is a great thing. If you guys are interested, definitely keep your eyes out for that wherever you live. If you can get to tour some passive houses, either under construction or complete, it's valuable. So that's how I met Ian, and the support he's given me and Good Space since then has been enormous because it's just a phone call, an email, the connections, because their company is specializing in these products for passive houses and high performance, so they know a lot of the answers. So that kind of network is valuable, and so we're enjoying that partnership because it helps us. So, and again, thank you for coming to shoot this video with us, and
absolutely
appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you, Andrew. And we obviously really like partnering with people like Good Space as well, and your organization, because you can see their job site. It's very clean, it's very well managed, and they're doing great work as well. And these are the people we like to work with, who are building passive houses. So thanks for the opportunity to be in the video today, and
Yeah.
thanks everybody.
Thanks, Ian. Thanks for watching. Check us out at goodspacebuilders.com. Follow us on the socials listed below, and we'll see you next time.
All right, we'll have to chop there, I guess.
Did I just pronounce your last name right? Nimmo?
You did.
Okay,
Yeah,
you probably saw my face. I'm like,
it's funny. I was taken aback because most people say Nemo,
Right.
And so I was like, oh, he did it right. Like, that's probably why
Wait
I
a
looked
moment.
a little confused.
yeah, we both did. Society, so that's great. Oh, good catch. Yeah. Thanks.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going. That's awesome.
You also want to minimize thermal bridging. You also want to, oh gosh, there we go. We'll cut that. Air sealing, thermal bridging, insulation. So we want to have high levels of.
That's a wrap.